Well, hey, welcome back once again to my channel. So this weekend, I've been playing the hell out of the beta for Cold War, and to capitalize on it, I said to myself, why not make a ranking weapons video? At first I thought of a tier list, but I wasn't sure how I was going to manage that, so instead, there's this. Before I commence, I'm going to rank these weapons by personal preference, and from worst to best, at least from my perspective. I address this because if I don't, someone, would have beat the crap out of me. But without further ado, let us dive into the video. Coming in at our 21st spot, we have the knife. I put this very low, mainly because it's a knife. You have to get up close and personal, which could mean life or death. So knife, yeah, pretty solid, but not that viable. At our 20th spot, we actually have a tie between both launchers, the Sigma 2 and the RPG. I would say they are both unique in their own ways. The Sigma is good for destroying aircraft, and the RPG for opponents. They both have pros and cons, but in this fast-paced game, you don't really have time to be reloading and shooting a rocket launcher, but for what they are, they're okay. At 19, we have the DIAMATTI, our good old burst machine pistol. This one isn't half bad, but the ammo capacity isn't quite good either. And well, the burst effect I find is a drawback to this one. Now, if it were fully automatic, it might have been higher on the list, but for now, it belongs here. For the 18th spot, we have the Type 63. This Gewehr/M14 love child is an absolute disaster. I hate it with a passion. This rifle is just not for me. I barely see people using it, which makes me believe that they share the same hatred as me. I acknowledge that for a semi-automatic rifle, it's not that bad. But Jesus Christ, everyone is rocking an automatic gun, which makes this one absolutely irrelevant and not viable at all. Maybe for zombies as a starting wall buy, could be decent. But for multiplayer, it just ain't it, chief. Next up, we have the M16. Now I know, I'm doing it dirty by putting it this low. And don't get me wrong, I love it. But compared to the other weapons, it just doesn't do as good of a job. For Black Ops 1, what an absolute banger. But for this game, I feel they nerfed it a bit, or maybe the other weapons are just stronger. Who knows? For our 16th spot, we got the KSP-45. This weapon is an atrocity. When you first unlock it at level 34, it's not good. You have to put in the work of your life to level this up, because since everyone else is rocking an absolute beast of a firearm, you have this burst SMG which has terrible recoil, and if you somehow manage to hit your shots, you at least need 3 bursts from this thing to get a kill. That is if you don't get headshots, which I doubt. I find it slightly better than the M16, but fuck this gun. For number 15, we have the Milano 821. Now don't get me wrong, this is a good SMG. Nice damage, quick reload, overall it's solid. But again, the other weapons are just so much better than this one. It's probably the gun I least use, and maybe if I played with it more, it'd be higher on the list, but I feel it needs to be here. At number 14, our only revolver. The Magnum is a good secondary. Obviously, it has good mobility, and it's at least a 2-shot to the body, which isn't half bad. I recently unlocked this one, but the shotguns definitely overshine the Magnum, in terms of power at least. For 13, the first sniper on the list, the LW3 Tundra. This sniper has amazing damage. The downside of this one is the reload and the scoping. I don't know why, but it feels like I turn 80 years old whenever I scope in with this weapon. If it was a 1v1 between a Tundra and a Pellington, I feel the Pellington would win. This sniper, as I said, it's good, but the inferior sniper. At 12, our last pistol, the 1911. I actually love this 1911. It's got that nice clean look from the BO1 M1911, and a nice rugged reload like the BO2 one, which was exactly what I was hoping for. Overall, a good secondary. Quick reload, good damage, and for pistols, I think it's the best. You won't have a bad time with this gun. Now from here, I'd say we jump into the better weapons for the beta. So coming in at number 11, the Stoner 63. What a beast of an LMG. I severely underestimated this weapon when I first tested it out. I thought it was horrible. But recording gameplay for this video, I realized how powerful it is. I hate that the reload is so much slower compared to the Black Ops 1 Stoner. To counteract this at least slightly, just slap some fast mags on this boy, and you're ready for a good old-fashioned massacre. Now, onto my favorite of the snipers of this game. I have had so much fun with the Pellington, it's unreal. You start off with it, which means it's more prone to be leveled up, and when you add some attachments, you can be an unstoppable force. It's so fun to use, and I barely have any complaints for it. 10 out of 10, would snipe again. So here we begin with our assault rifles. The AK-47 is the worst of the four. It doesn't need much explanation. It's a typical AK. Decent recoil and damage, and I like the skin they gave it for this game. It's visually pleasing, and those iron sights are just beautiful. So, for number 8, we have the Hauer 77. This beast of a shotgun has some insane range. For a pump shotgun, you can two-shot someone from 50 meters away. With some attachments, it's very accurate, and reminds me of the trench gun from World at War. I guess it is in a way, and not sure what was up with Treyarch and changing the names for some weapons, but it is what it is. For number 7, we have the other shotgun, the GALLO S812, aka the Spaz 12. This shotgun has slightly less damage than the Hauer, but damn can you spam this one. It's at least a 3-shot, but it doesn't really matter, because spamming this gun is almost a guaranteed kill. Coming in at one of the digits from the devil's number, we have the RPD. Holy shit, this LMG is insane. The range you have for this one is astonishing. You don't expect it. Combined with good recoil and high damage, this is a force to be reckoned with. It feels so powerful in your hands, and can't compare the reload speed, because I'm pretty sure the BO2 one is the same speed. Coming in at our top 5 spot, it's the AK-74U. Now I know, I talked a bit of smack on the AK-47, but this one has better mobility, less recoil, faster fire rate, it's just overall better. Again, on the skin for this one, it's orgasmic. I have no complaints for this AK-74U. I do mainly use it in Cartel though, and it feels it's the most optimal map for that gun. At our number 4 spot, it's the XM4. This revamp for the Commando is a devastating force. At first, I didn't really like it, but I wanted to level it up, and by doing so, I saw its true beauty. Such a good AR, and well, it's the Commando. You can't go wrong with such a nostalgic firearm. For our number 3 spot, it's the Krig 6. Again, it feels like a revamp, except for the Galil. When you first use it, it feels new yet familiar. The damage is phenomenal. You hit your shots 85% of the time, and there's almost no drawbacks. I'm sure if I tried I could find one, but it's in my top 3 for a reason. At number 2, to close out the SMG class, is last but not least, the MP5. What a coercive weapon. This is a beautiful mix of the MP5 and the MP5K. It's got the nice robustness of the MP5 and the dexterity of the MP5K. You can cause some serious tie turners with this gun. The fast fire rate and reload combined with the great damage, it's a recipe for absolute annihilation. I can't even begin to express how good this gun is. For Moscow, it's so good. For those tight corners, your teammates better start calling you Terminator because you're an absolute machine with this ordnance. And my friends, at our number 1 spot, it's a monstrous assault rifle, the QBZ-83. I did not anticipate the efficiency of this gun. I immediately got a kill with this thing, and power surged through my veins. It is my most used weapon by far, and I'm pretty sure I have it at level 30, and there is absolutely no drawbacks. It's good at what it does, killing, and it does it quick. I recommend you use this gun at least once. Trust me, you won't regret using this mingle of the FAMAS and Type 45. What an absolute unit. Well, you made it to the end of the video. I'm glad you stuck through it. And remember, this was my personal opinion. My thoughts may change over time, but for now, this was my Cold War beta list for weapons. This took quite the time to make, so like is always appreciated. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.